Hello ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight, so you don't have to. This is a topic that I've wanted to cover for quite a long time. I just never really got around to it for one reason or another, but we got some time to kill before the anniversary stream tomorrow, and I figured let's just fucking go for it. So, and if you were watching my streams yesterday, you have some idea of what I'm actually about to go over. And what we can do about it. What I'm going to cover today is Freddy and why his anti-looping is so fucking garbage. Okay, Freddy is a shell of what he once was. He's not D tier, like he's not that bad, but like he is significantly worse. As this nerf has aged, like at first it didn't feel much like anything, but like as the nerf has aged, it is clear that this character was knocked down at like 2 tiers. Like the nerf was really, really bad. Okay, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. Because what I'm here to talk about today actually applied to the old Freddy as well. Okay, his chase, the actual chase, has always been bad. That's the big secret. Okay, it was admittedly better back when he had 10 snares because you could pre-place them and then like the snare wouldn't like disappear immediately, so you could like get back to a tile with a snare already there, because that's the only way his chase is good, is if you have a snare that's already at a tile, okay? So when he had 10 snares, that was a little easier to do, but nowadays, fat fucking chance. You will rarely, if ever, have that situation, okay? So, in terms of the chase, we're not looking at the whole character here. I'm not factoring in the teleport, or add-ons, because Freddy's add-ons are useless. But we're not looking at the whole character. I'm just, right now, going to be talking about the chase that he brings to the table, okay? There are, in my opinion, 5 anti-looping characters in this game, okay? We're going to see how he stacks up to the other anti-loopers, okay? The people I consider anti-loopers are Freddy, Doc, Pinhead, Clown, and Artist. Those are the 5 anti-looping characters in DBD. The other characters, even though their powers can like be used at loops, like a Trickster or a Huntress, they can be used at loops, they still have loops that negate them. Whereas these powers can kind of work at all loops to various degrees, okay? Like obviously some are better than others, but there's a reason that these anti-looping powers are considered anti-looping powers versus a Huntress projectile, for instance. But that's neither here nor there. That's a different discussion. Okay? So, what we're going to do to illustrate this point, we are going to go in and we are going to construct a tile. Okay? This isn't going to be a big tile. This is just going to be a very simple, basic tile. Okay? So, our survivor's going to be yellow. They're going to be right there. And then we're going to build, here's our tile. It's just going to be rock. This is a rock. That's a really fat rock. And it looks like I'm drawing tits. And then another rock here. Okay. This tile is very common on Macmillan. Okay. And then the palette, we're going to put in orange. This is, okay. There's our palette. It's up. Okay. So this is the poorest representation ever, but whatever. It's fine. Who cares? You don't care. The first character we're going to run is Doc, who we will put in blue. Doc right here. Doc with tile control. Okay, what's Doc going to do in this situation? Okay. Doc is going to shock therapy, right? Shock therapy is going to boom, boom, hit. And then the survivor's going to rotate. The doctor is also going to rotate up here, okay? And then he's probably going to fire another shock therapy off. It'll go, and then it'll hit the survivor. And then the survivor is going to cut through here, not have an ability to drop the tile, and then doctor comes around and then hits them, right? Now, obviously, that's the poorest model ever, obviously. But like that's kind of what Doc does at that tile, right? He shocks them a few times, gets them into a situation when they're at the pallet but can't pull it down. That's what Doc likes. And if the pallet's down, he can kind of do the same thing, where he can shock them and then they can't vault over it again, etc. Okay? So that's kind of what Doc does in that situation. I wish there was an undo button, but is there an undo button? There is. Okay. Okay, so that's Doctor at that situation. Let's run the same thing with Artist, who we will put in red. Artist. Okay. She's going to put a bird probably like right here. Then she's going to push this way. Okay. Survivor's going to run up and then have to be hesitant. They have to make a choice here. Do they run forward and risk getting hit by the birds, or do they risk Artist catching up? Okay. So the Survivor then now has to make a decision. If the Survivor goes forward to the tile, Artist goes birds, hit. Easy. Or if the Survivor hesitates, they go back around. They like turn around. The Artist can just call out their hesitation, basic attack them. So there you go. That's how Artist handles the same tile. Artist always wants to be pushing to the direction that will force the Survivor to be in line with her birds. Okay? You following me so far? Okay. Let's do one more. I don't think you need to see Clown, because Clown usually just results in him getting hit with the pallet, so we don't really need to go over him. Let's do Pinhead. He'll be put in black. And black's going to be confusing. Let's just put Pinhead in a green. You guys, we got your Pinhead, right? So Pinhead's going to probably... Pinhead will probably want to stay here in the center when he does it. Pinhead will pick a place, depending on what the Survivor's doing. He'll shoot out his thing, and then launch the chain, hit, wrap around, hit. Okay? Obviously, there's a lot more mechanics that go into Pinhead's chase than that, because, like, you have some poor line of sight. But, like, all in all, Pinhead's kind of aggro. He wants to be able to see the Survivors to use his anti-loop power for the most part, but, you know, that's what he's trying to do. Okay? And then Clown, fuck it, let's run Clown. Let's do it. Clown probably throws his Clown will throw his antidote right here, and then he'll throw a pink bottle like right here. Use the antidote, push this way. The Survivor will come this way, and then hopefully Clown's gonna pray to God that his speed reduction, his speed boost, and their speed reduction will allow him to get the hit kind of at the pallet. Okay, or worse for Clown, the Survivor's gonna run up here, drop the pallet, hit them in the face. Okay, that's what happens in 9 out of 10 Clown situations. But again, beside the point. So we did, everybody. Okay, now we're gonna do Freddy. Okay, Freddy's gonna have pallet now. We're gonna put Freddy. We'll put him in red. Are you starting to see why Freddy's anti-loop is fucking garbage? Because what did every other character just do? What did every other anti-looper just do? They threw something at the guy. Their anti-loop power goes forward. Okay? See how all their powers go forward? Even Clown's goes forward. And then Clown has another ability that works inward on himself too, but like they went forward. Freddy, if he wants to get the hit here, he has to go up here, place a snare. Go down here. They're going to run into it. Okay? The Survivor's going to be pushed up this way, run into it, trigger it because they're not retarded. And then Freddy is either going to... Freddy prays to God that the slowdown's enough, or if he doesn't think it's going to be enough, he can put another snare. Put another snare up here, and then push back around. The Survivor will hit both snares, and then maybe get a hit where a Clown would get the hit at the pallet. That's what Freddy wants to do. Okay? You can kind of see the difference there. Like, Freddy... Freddy is the only anti-looper on the roster that... He's the only anti-looper on the roster that has to go throw something that can't throw something at the Survivor. He has to go, like, place a trap. Okay? That puts him more in line with a trapper and a hag than an anti-looping character. But here's the thing, he's not a trap character either, because his traps work as an anti-loop. They're an anti-loop trap. So, obviously, this situation is different if you have a snare at the tile already, because then you don't have to, like, go place two of them. Like, Freddy's always fighting this battle at the rotation to go up here, maybe try to get one snare, try to get 2 snares out for the survivors to then run into, right? That's what he's always trying to do. Like maybe the survivor will go trigger this one, he'll throw one up there, the survivor will run to trigger that one, but they know they'll get hit, so Freddy will have another snare, then he can put another snare right there, etc., etc. Like, what I would like to see done here, because like, what do we do about this? Like, what can we do to actually save Freddy? Well, the answer is obvious. Let him have distance on his snare placement. Like, his snare should be able to, like, you know how that when Nurse uses her power and you have that add-on to let you see what you're doing? You know how it, like, goes outward? Or Pinhead's power, how it kind of goes outward? Should be about the same thing as Freddy's snare. Should be the same thing. You should hold the power button. You can go 110 while you're doing this. You can keep that. The snare goes forward, and then you can drop it right there. That's what he needs right there. That buff right there. That way he can go boom, boom, come around. You're trapped between 2 snares. Which way do you go? Oh, you're going this way. Boom. Third one. Down. Hit. Okay. And then I suggested multiple variations for this on stream. You can do something like if Freddy places a snare, boom, hits the survivor with it, that snare applies bonus slowdown. Something like that. If you're worried that it might be too I'm thinking about this. I did say on stream you could give it like a cooldown of 1 or 2 seconds or 3 seconds if he misses the survivor. But like here's the thing, Doctor doesn't have that cooldown, and he's fine. So like I don't really think he needs a cooldown for missing. I think you could just let him, just keep letting him throw stuff. I think he'd be fine, especially since if you're throwing him from a distance, he would be able to help him, it would take a couple seconds for the snare to actually get to where you want it to go. So that kind of serves as a cooldown when you really kind of think about it. Okay. Another thing that this would do is it would help Freddy's other problem. Okay. Freddy's other problem is when you have 2 snares here, okay, and you finally have your tiles set up the way you want it, and you're ready to go get the hit, the survivor just does this. They go, bah. Like, they Bruno you, bruh. Bah. Like, they're gone. Like, they're fucking gone when your tile's set up. And then you have to go chase them again, and then the whole process repeats itself. Okay? Now, admittedly, every anti-looping character kind of struggles with the idea of the transition. Even Artist doesn't exactly like you transitioning against her. But, like, Artist has a lot more power at these tight kiting interactions to where, like, that's allowed to be a balanced part of her kit. Okay? So another thing the distance snare would do is when you have your 2 snares set up, like we just had it, and then the survivor goes, bah, you can wrap around and then you can snare right here on their way to the next tile, and then maybe get them when they get to the next window, or force the dead hard to come out, etc., etc. Like this kind of power, the ability to kind of slow the survivors down, especially if you give it like a 2x slowdown, if it's a direct hit, that would actually like allow this character to do something about a transition. And like, it's not like the snares are big; it would have to be a precise hit. It would take skill to actually do, especially with juking. Especially since yeah. And again, we're not asking for a ton of range here. Like, I'm not asking for a 75% Doctor shock therapy range, although that would be great, would be nice. But like, just let Freddy let him from the door of Shack to the other door of Shack. That's what he would really need for this. Like, just let him set his snares at a range, and then after you give him that base kit change, what he really needs is a full add-on overhaul. I've been saying this for years, since they reworked him. The very first criticism I had of his rework was that all of his add-ons are worthless, with the exception of the repair ones. And not even because those were good, because they were the only ones that really did anything. The repair ones and the cooldown ones, and then the Eerie that puts them all to sleep at the beginning. That's about it. That's his only option. There was that one other Eerie that let people never wake up against him, but like even that was so bad, and the devs fucking nerfed that one. Like, that's not even in the game anymore. So like, his add-ons are trash. Z-Block finally became usable because Hemorrhage became usable, even though it's not even very good. It doesn't. doesn't do much for you, but like he needs a full add-on rework. Okay, the first thing that I would do with this full add-on rework, delete the palettes, get rid of those. Just get rid of them. If you have to have them because people like Palette Freddy as a style and it's been in the game for 2 years, so you don't want to fully take it away from them, make it one common, never see it again. Like, I'm so, like, the palette iteration of this character takes out, like, 8 of his add-on slots. And it's bad. Like all those add-ons are bad, and they're not usable. That means, like, you're relegating half this character's kit to be useless. Just right from the get-go. That's garbage. It's not good for him. So, like, what add-ons could you do, okay? So with my idea to make his snares projectiles. Well, if you don't like the idea of the direct hit being base kit, you could throw it on as an add-on, although it would probably get run every fucking match, so there would be no point. The next thing you could do is increase the range a little bit. Like, you could give him a range increase. You can make it so when he steps in his own puddles, he gets a little speed boost, or an add-on to negate the 110 aspect of when he's holding it. You can have him go 115 in that with an add-on. Like, there's a lot of things you could do here to make this happen. Another obvious one is a direct hit could cause exhaustion for 5 seconds. That's another good one. It would see play. It would see usability, because exhaustion is very good, especially with Dead Hard in the game. Like, there's a lot of add-ons you could do with the idea of a direct hit, because a direct hit would take skill and be meaningful. And when I say direct hit, I mean that he places the snare directly where the survivor is. That's what I mean by direct hit, even though it wouldn't do any damage. Although Acute Eerie might do that, and you could test that. So that's kind of my point here. The fact that Freddy has no real way to pressure the survivors from a distance is why his anti-loop is so bad. And you see, the two worst anti-loopers are Clown and Freddy. And why is that? Because they rely on getting those hits exactly like where the pallet is. Like, that's just how their anti-looping abilities kind of stack up to the other ones. Like, an artist is going to shoot through the pallet and hit you, and, like, she's not going to get hit by the pallet. Like, a Pinhead, going to shoot through it. Who else is there? A Doctor, going to go under the pallet, and Doctor makes it so when you get to the pallet, you can't pull it down. So it's a wannabe dead zone. And Doctor counters Dead Hard. But, like, Freddy and Clown, because they play these interactions involving the speed, the survivor speed, the survivors are still in way more control of that interaction, because it's just the speed. The only thing going down is their speed. So they can realistically get to the pallet through good play and pull it. Like, the killers, those two killers have no execution elements on their end to actually get the survivor, whereas the other three do. So that's kind of my point. I kind of knocked Clown at the end, but this video is specifically about Freddy. So yeah, give him range snares and a fucking add-on rework. He desperately fucking needs it. Okay, there's another add-on, but the teleport cooldown would be every time a survivor hits a snare, it subtracts 5 seconds from your teleport cooldown. There you go. Another thing you could do. But, you know, it's like, this is shit I'm whipping up in an afternoon, guys. And it sounds way better than anything Behavior's done in the last 2 years. Like, this is why I say they're clueless and they don't know anything about their game. Because, like, shit you brainstorm in an afternoon is significantly better than what's in the game. Like, you can't tell me they're not making him bad on purpose, because the way to make him better is so easy. It's so there. It's so, like, on paper. Like, would Freddy realistically getting ranged snares make him, like, an A-tier killer? Probably not. Like, that's the really sad part. Because, like, again, he would have a bit more execution, but, like, still, it would just be that speed. So, it's hard to say that he would really make that much of a difference. But, like, right now, all Freddy does is get stunned. Like, you feel so helpless when you're at the top because your power's not doing anything. Even if it was in that tier of chase that a Clown would bring to the table. But, like, I don't know. I feel like Freddy would have more control over, because the snares could go under things. So I feel like that would be at least better than Clown. But I don't know. I digress. So that's kind of my main argument. So, like, what we could do to kind of fix Freddy and get him back in the game. Because right now he's just bleh. All right, lads, I'm getting the hell out of here. GG's.